Good day, Perceptive Reader. Today I want to share with you something that came about as an appreciation or gratitude for the knowledge you see that the grand creator actually has given me. But I did feel by extension, you being a regular listener to this podcast, you, it would also apply to you. Uh, you can think about uh, from a young age, what didn't you learn that didn't get the basically foundation of how to learn from your parents? And remember, your parents also went through the same uh, phase in life. And I'm sure they have picked up many spiritual, teachings, along with just how to do everything, everyday chores and jobs and things of that nature. And then that was passed on to you as you were growing up. Now, of course, in this information age, you were able to also teach yourself a lot of other stuff just through reading and application. And that's what this brings me to next. Um, from time to time, uh, I like to still consider really what are the different levels of math. You know, maybe for some of us, especially when we talk about living forever and eternity, uh, we plan on one day actually being able to do every single one of the maths, from the basic all the way to the higher levels. And I'm sure you may be impressed, really, with just how many levels of math there really are. And imagine you do have people in the world that can do every single one of them. Isn't that something? And they were able to learn all of them really within the first 2 decades of their life. Now that goes to show you how some people actually really do have an aptitude for math. See, and talk about appreciation for knowledge, because I've actually had interactions with persons at times who could actually do math and even higher levels of math. But guess what? There were some just basic, everyday ways of functioning that, maybe you and I may even take for granted that they struggled with, that they had to learn, and that they may still be learning, even with social interactions. It's just one of those things that happens. But all the same, imagine one day us having the time to learn all the aspects of life and the good type of knowledge, you see, that is out there for us. So with that being said, I want to actually tell you what some of I'm going to go ahead and name all of the maths that there are from the basic to the higher level. And make no mistake about it. This is not saying that I even know them, but I'm telling you, I at least want to make you aware of just how much there is to learn in the world. Think about still the laws of gravity and physics that God already even put into place. He put all these laws into place, and it was actually the math that helps us as humans to see what he even put into place. So listen to this. You learned in school the basic math from arithmetic, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And then some went on to pre-algebra. You see, that involves the different variables and equations. Well, remember, you don't always have a solid number, but the variables can be X, A, Y, things of that nature. And you're able to put equations together without ever really getting the number. You just know that variable is there, that the number or the answer will be placed if you wanted to totally do the extra steps to work it out. Okay. And then you have algebra 1, solving linear equations. And notice this, inequalities, if I'm saying it correctly, and basic graphing, you see. And then you got geometry, algebra 2, pre-calculus. When you start getting into all those areas, then you get those different tools, not only the rulers, but it's another tool, and it's not a compass, it's something else. But I see that goes to show you how long it's been since I even thought about that. But there's actually tools that help you to draw out your conclusions, you see, or even the problem that you want a solution to through graphs and things of that nature, being able to map them out, get a physical representation. See, all that happens basically in algebra 2 and pre-calculus, where even algebra 1, but all the same. But then when you get into calculus, notice what it says: studying rates of change, limits, derivatives, and integrals. And see, let me tell you, that's when you're growing up. If you got somebody smart in your family, you normally call them and say, how do you do this? What are you doing? Or you have to call a relative. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Some people, they just eat that stuff up. And then you have also advanced areas like linear algebra, differential equations, probability and statistics, topology, complex analysis, and number theory, and also combinatorics. Now, I've never seen that word combinatorics before. But this is what came up in the search of all the maps. I wonder if that actually came about within the past decade or so, because I've never heard of that before. But I think I'll look it up. But remember, I told you all this was in the advanced areas. And so unless you took the advanced areas of math, then maybe it sounds like a new language to you as well, some of these advanced areas that I mentioned. But just keep in mind, as I told you before, you do have people who have experience and can do all those types of maths. And it shows, again, a deep appreciation for what the Creator put in us when we are able to learn stuff like this. You see what I'm saying? And so we talked about math today because I just wanted to be specific. But make no mistake about it, I want to emphasize there is still greatness in you as well. And it actually takes all these levels of maths at times, used with technology, just to try to get the facets or a description of still who you are as a person. And yet it still cannot really measure out every single thing about the human, the human creation that God made. Oh yeah, I mean, it gives some very excellent data, but all the same, that goes to show you how much good stuff was put into you by the grand Creator. And that's why I want to say again, as a reminder in closing, use as affirmation, there's greatness in you. And aren't we grateful also to the grand Creator for making us this way? We are marvelously made. Have a wonderful day, Perceptive Reader.